Hey, my name is Sarah and welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. Look who's back.
Sarah, I'm back.
Again.
I'm sorry. I stranded you for a couple of episodes.
Did you listen to the 2 episodes that we recorded?
Well, you know what? One's not even published and I didn't even get a link to the edit of that one.
No.
So no. I'm loading up the episode that Tara co-hosted after this, actually.
I did make a couple jokes.
You did?
Off the top about looking for new co-hosts. That's why I knew that you didn't listen, because I was waiting for you to come in being like, hey, I'm not replaced.
Well, I did see the comments of the Tara episode. I did scroll on YouTube and a lot of people were saying just like, why don't we just have Sarah and Tara host? And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I'll be behind the camera.
You're back. You're good.
I'm back.
And with that, what have you been eating or drinking?
This is a big one, Sarah, because it is the holiday season now that it is November.
Apparently.
The trees are being decked. The halls are being decked as well. This is a big one for me. When you go walk through the grocery store and you're walking through the aisle that has eggs and milk, and you're getting a little bit more festive as you move along, and then you see the Pillsbury cookies that they change every season, where they have the little ones you can.
Is that what you're eating this week?
Yeah.
Okay, I have the exact same one.
Really? Okay. Which one do you go with? Because there are a few different Christmassy ones, and I always go for the elf ones.
Okay, for the Christmas ones, I do go for the elf ones, but the reason it was what I'm eating is because at Costco 2 months ago, they had the Halloween packs, but they had 4 packs. You could buy 4 packs of the cookies, and they were on sale. So I bought them, put them in my freezer, forgot about them. But what
That's a
pleasant
good thing to forget
surprise
about. Yeah.
when I open up my freezer, and whatever, they have pumpkins on them. Who cares? They'll taste the same.
Yeah.
When I open up my freezer.
Well, I don't know if they do. I have a conspiracy that they taste as slightly different.
And maybe because you're cooking them differently, but they taste the same.
You think I cook them? I don't cook them.
And so when I pulled up my freezer and I had 4 boxes. So I made a box the other day, gonna make a box tonight because I'm not feeling great and I want a little cozy treat. But I also always go for the elf ones or the snowman ones.
Okay, the snowman ones, I thought those were penguins. I was looking at them in the grocery store. And when you see one of those images and you don't quite know what it is? I thought it was penguins. I go for the elf ones, and I do eat about half of the box raw.
Yeah, it's the best.
I really don't like cooking them. If you cook them, you have to eat them within the first 5 minutes of them coming out of the oven. All of them.
Really?
If they go the next day.
Next day for sure, but at least that evening. And then also it says between 12 and 14 minutes. If you actually cook it for, you go under?
I go under.
See, I cook them for exactly 13 and they're perfect every time.
Oh, really? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, different. Let us know your recipe for the basic Pillsbury.
Yeah,
cookies.
and let us know if you think that they taste different, because I'm convinced that the
different
Valentine's ones,
different?
A little bit more. I don't know, they're slightly different.
I don't think they are.
Sarah, if that's what we are both eating or drinking, what are you watching or reading this week?
You're gonna love this. I'm watching marathon videos.
Oh my God, I got hooked.
All I did when the New York Marathon happened, which obviously we're gonna get to, because if you're watching the YouTube video, spoiler, you've got your hat. I wanted you to wear your medal. That's what I thought you were gonna do.
Oh, I should have.
But I keep watching marathon videos, and specifically New York Marathon videos. And whenever everyone cries walking, going across the finish line, I start crying watching it. And then I scroll and then I start looking up different marathons. And I start looking up, how do you get into a marathon? And then
you get a little bug.
Before you know it, you're on the Chicago Marathon Lottery website signing up my credit card. So we'll see.
You're submitted to the lottery?
Yeah.
Okay. I also submitted. It's September next year, right?
No, it's October.
It's October. Okay.
It's Thanksgiving weekend.
But we find out December 12th. Yeah.
If we both got in, think of how iconic that would be.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Because then we could literally spend the next 8 months planning run clubs and doing everything
for sure
around.
And it's close enough. I feel like a lot of people from Toronto go to Chicago.
100%.
And it has, I hear also good things about the Chicago Marathon.
Well, I mean, the 2 world records that are the most recent men and women world records were broken in Chicago.
It's a little flat, yeah. After the marathon, I was talking to a guy in my hotel, and he was like, I'm from Chicago. And I was like, oh, I'm from Toronto. He's like, yeah, they're pretty similar in that we're quite flat. New York, not flat at all.
Not flat. Well, I'm sure we'll find
out
about
that.
That's huge. So anyways, marathon TikTok was inspiring me.
If you haven't been on New York City Marathon TikTok, go right now, unless you don't want to cry. Don't stay away in that case.
I cried a lot last year. I cried a lot whenever someone was getting pushed in a wheelchair that had cerebral palsy or something. And when I was at the New York City Marathon last year, sobbed.
Yeah.
Just sobbing. I cried watching my friend run it. I just get so emotional watching it. I think it's because I just understand how I don't even fully understand how far it is, but it's I respect how far it is. It's when we talked about respect the distance with and so I just think It's just so inspiring.
And it's also so many people are out there that like it's all videos are just magical. And it was such a nice day that like
Beautiful
everything
day.
looks amazing.
What are you watching or reading?
Sarah, I never watched this.
I thought you were about to be Sarah. I never read. That's what I thought you were about to say.
I never watched this when it came out, and I watched it recently. Cars. The movie,
Like
the
the
animated
animated
movie
movie?
Cars.
With
Yeah.
Toe Mater and Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen. Also,
We would never ever
I'd
seen
never
it.
seen it, and
That's
we hit
crazy.
play, and I'm watching this movie, and like in the first 5 minutes, I thought, they have Lightning McQueen beds for kids, and they have like tons of merch and stuff, right? I'm like, oh, Lightning McQueen's gonna be this cool guy. For the first like 3/4 of the movie, and I understand there's a whole like arc of Lightning McQueen, finding some heart, but like this guy's a dick.
Yeah.
I was not a Lightning McQueen fan even afterward. I was like, you didn't treat people very well. So I was upset about it. So I want to watch Cars 2 and see if, maybe he's a nice guy.
I think there's another one where they like go to space, like Cars 3 or something. It gets real wacky.
See, I don't, you know what
That's where they
also
lost the
freaked me
plot
out
a
a little
little
bit
bit.
is like all of the like people, for lack of a
Cars.
better term,
Yeah.
cars
Yeah.
in this movie. Everyone is a car.
Yeah, all
but
the
like,
cars are
who
people.
made the tables? You know what I mean? Like, how does a car make a table?
It's a Disney movie. I don't think kids are asking
I
those
was
critical thinking questions.
See, maybe I should have watched it when I was a kid, so I wouldn't have thought about this. But it was
that movie
like,
was made while you were a kid, unfortunately.
yeah, I was probably
I
like
think
18
that would have been
or
some of
something,
the
yeah.
gap. That would have been some of the gap.
But I liked it. I'm a big animated movie guy.
I am too.
You know what I also hadn't seen in years that I watched back to back was Monsters Inc.
Holds up, and it's a short movie. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's like 90 minutes.
It's like a classic hour and a half movie.
It's so good.
Yeah,
It's so
it's
good.
such a good
I love
movie.
Monsters Inc.
Go
Anyways.
rewatch that.
What are you listening to?
Okay, this is a big one, Sarah. By the time this comes out, the whole album will have dropped. I haven't listened to the whole album at this point, obviously, but he's been pushing out some singles here and there. I didn't like them at first.
Who?
Shawn Mendes.
Okay.
His new album, Shawn, coming out. It's out
think-
by now.
Well, I don't know. I think I might be going to his Massey Hall show.
Oh, really?
It's a maybe.
Wait, is this like a listening party?
No, he's
something?
doing a concert at Massey Hall to play the new album. But it's called his Friends and Family Show, and it's like a really small, intimate Toronto concert.
Like next week when
Like,
this album drops?
Yeah, like the 25th of November.
Okay.
He's
Oh,
performing at
crazy.
Massey Hall, which is like
Okay.
a really cool venue.
That is a cool venue.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, you know what? That's interesting because one of my favorite albums ever is Neil Young live at Massey Hall. And the first song that I listened of Sean's new album, I was like, listen, Neil Young's an amazing
Yeah, but,
artist.
like,
I don't want
comparable?
to totally compare them, but I was like, this one's a little Neil Young-y. So I wonder if he
Funny.
was like shooting for that.
Interesting.
And now he's going to go play Massey Hall. That's cool.
I think it's a smart, approachable thing to do his first performance back at like this like small acoustic style, like really
Yeah.
small session before he, like, because he was like a pop prince. Like he was
Yeah.
like, I saw him at the Rogers Center, at a sold out
Huge,
Rogers
huge.
Center, like crazy.
And this, you know what? I was a little worried when I started to hear like, oh, it's gonna be a little more stripped down album, a little more raw album. You know, he took a
Yeah.
lot of time off.
Yeah. Joined a
But the
cult.
songs, did he?
Yeah.
Joined a cult?
Yeah.
Which one?
I think he's like actively in one. I don't know. It's like some hippy dippy, like he was dating the leader of it. She was like this 50-something-year-old woman. They might still be together.
Whoa, Sean, I didn't know this. Like, I kind of
He was
respect it
walking
though.
around barefoot for a lot. That's what was happening.
That's classic cult moves.
Yeah.
The songs though, quite catchy. I like them.
Okay.
I've been banging
Good.
them. Yeah. Heart of Gold. Whew,
Amazing.
that's a big one. What about you? What are you listening to?
I have been listening to any interview Ariana Grande's done for Wicked.
Ooh, okay.
I'm okay. I was a big Ariana fan, like let's say 2017,
you-
18, like
Yeah.
that time, like that timeline. I guess that would have been like Sweetener, like
It's like the Mac Miller days.
Yeah, thank you. Like right after he passed away, because when I
Yeah.
saw her in 2019, I think was when she was like notoriously crying on that
Yeah,
tour
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole time.
yeah.
I used to listen to a lot of Ariana Grande, and even like her really old stuff. And then I kind of like fell off. I didn't really like listen to her anymore, like whatever. But then with her in this transformation to Wicked, like I just think this is a perfect role for her. And so I've been really excited to hear her talk about it. And she's just so funny. Like she's so quirky and so funny. And like I feel like
Yeah.
she didn't really show that side for a very long time. And now we're seeing it. So specifically the podcast I would recommend listening to is, have you ever listened to Bowen Yang's podcast?
No.
It's called like
I've seen clips.
Black
I'm
Culturitas or whatever.
Okay,
It's
no.
really funny. Him and I think his name is Matt, his co-host, hilarious.
Yeah.
They're like best friends. And it's just like, it just feels feels like you're sitting at the table with like the cool, funny kids and just like they're bouncing like topics around each other.
Is it a long podcast? I feel like I've never seen
it's
a long
pretty-
form Ariana Grande.
It's like an hour and a half long.
No, okay.
And so I'm in the process of listening to that episode right now, and it's just because her and Bowen are friends because they filmed Wicked together. Like because Bowen's in Wicked.
Oh,
so
crazy.
It's really cool, and just like it is such a side of her that you don't get to see very often, and it's wonderful.
Are you excited for Wicked?
I am so
You have your tickets
freaking
yet?
excited. No, but I was invited to a screening, which I'm so excited about.
Damn.
I'm
I've
so
got
excited.
tickets.
You have tickets already?
Yeah, I've got tickets.
Have you seen the musical?
No.
Oh, so you're going in blind. You have no idea what it's about.
Well, I know what it's about. I've listened to the soundtrack.
Okay, so you
Does
know.
that count? I don't know.
Yeah, but I still don't think you won't know everything, which is good. You'll know enough. Then. That's exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Defying Gravity, what a banger.
And Cynthia Erivo's version is going to be incredible. So
I ended up dancing with Cynthia, not like one-on-one, but like in a little dance crew at a TIFF after party years and years ago
With
with Cynthia
Cynthia
Erivo. Yeah, she's a super cool person.
But like that's such a cool story that like now like 5-10 years from now when she's like and she's an EGOT winner and everything, you're gonna be like, yeah, we go way back.
Exactly.
Classic. Anyways, I'm just listening to anything Wicked right now.
Okay,
Any podcast
cool.
that anyone's on,
Yeah.
like send it to me because I'm like fully. I get so obsessed over things that I'm currently like so
I
obsessed
just hope
with
the
this.
movie hits, you know?
Quite literally, I've not seen a bad review. And I know some influencers got invited early and stuff, so it's like, you're not going to trash the movie, but truly, like, we saw it with Joker too. Like, if it was a bad movie, the reviews would know it's a bad movie.
Yeah,
Every person that has seen it, that is like, talking about it, that is a diehard like Wicked fan, like loves
Like
the musical true and
is
true.
a good evolution of...
Everyone's saying Ariana Grande could win the Oscar for it because she's that good in it. Yeah, man, like it's like.
Speaking of EGOT, she could do it. I feel like she could do it.
In the Bowen Yang podcast, she talked about how the next 10 years she's going to step away from pop music a little bit and focus on going back into musical theater.
Really? Oh my God, you imagine going to Broadway and seeing Ariana Grande?
But it's going to be the reality. You're going to be able to.
That's amazing. Sarah, somewhere you went this week.
Okay, so I think I've been very vocal about how I don't go to a lot of like influencer events anymore. I don't, but it is peak holiday influencer event time. And one that I don't miss is a gifting suite. Now, for context, what a gifting suite is like instead of the PR company having all of their like PR, like their, I don't know, brands send you holiday packages and like send you whatever, you go to them basically, and it's like going shopping, but everything's free.
Yeah.
And the brands are there to represent it. And it's funny because people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I actually think it's probably the same amount of stuff you'd get if they shipped it. But it's just instead you're kind of getting pick and choose, and you learn about the brand, and you walk around with a drink in your hand. And it's like,
and you also don't have all that cardboard or something to like dispose
that's
of
the
after
best
that. You're not pissing off your doorman.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Not having to take packages downstairs. So gifting suites are really common. Shoppers Drug Mart does them a lot. Like there's all these different brands. So
and a lot of the time it's either at the office of like PR company or in a hotel or something.
So
like that.
this one was in a hotel. It was in a penthouse. It was so cool.
Ooh.
It was with Brill, and it was all these different brands, and you just go around with a bag and just pop stuff in. And what I do is I grab a lot of stuff for like Christmas things, but also we're gonna do 12 days of giveaways on Talking Fast. So I grabbed a bunch of stuff for that. I got like hair straightener, curler things. I got all these really cool products I'm really excited that we're going to give away to Talking Fast listeners. So you guys are the first to know that.
That is exciting.
So anyways, the gifting suite is just kind of like this. It's the weirdest part about like this world is that I'm just like walking around getting to take stuff for free. I don't know how to, it's just a
Do you
very
do you talk to the people? Do you get a little info on what the products are?
Yeah. But the funniest part is there are people there that use like, I don't know, like they just like pretend listen
Yeah.
to like what the person's saying. Oh wow, this is so amazing. I've never heard of a moisturizer like this before, and then you just want the product. Like it's really actually kind of funny to watch the dynamics. But like this one I liked because there's a lot of practical stuff. Like there was a sunscreen brand, and I was like, amazing, I need sunscreen because I'm going on a trip soon. And then there's like things like that are a little bit more practical, like some Epsom salts.
That's the
There's
thing
one
about a
had
gifting
collagen.
suite too is that, or any PR generally, is like a lot of the time I feel like it's good when a PR company doesn't have the expectation that you're going to immediately do an unboxing video or something and post it.
100%.
It's so much better when you're like, okay, I actually need this sunscreen for something that's coming in the future. You're going to use it. You're going to have a genuine use case for like trying out the product that's not, you know, out of the ordinary. That's a lot better.
And I will say, if anyone's listening to this for like these purposes, well, because it's happened to me, I think one of the reasons I've been taken off of some gifting suite like lists that I've been on before.
I turn people down all the time.
Not even just that, but like, because I don't post a haul, like it's not a guarantee that I'm going to post it, because I won't, to be honest,
okay, that's kind of my point. Cause
I won't, but this is the thing. So example, like, and I'll call them out, I'll call Shoppers Drug Mart out, because I got invited to their gifting suite one time, twice actually, and I didn't get invited to the next two. So it's like, okay, what shifted?
And they have a notoriously like very good one.
Yeah, for sure. So I brought my little sister to it, who was like just a graduate student who was like, had no money. So for her, this was like a dream to get to like go and like pick out all these products. And this is the thing though that I think is the missed opportunity. Although I didn't post like a full haul, because I don't think that's relatable to people to post a full haul of like everything I got. Her getting like that perfume, like the one free perfume she got, she now has repurchased that perfume like 3 or 4 times. So what you're actually missing is the opportunity for the people that are going to become like the people.
Well, that's why we hate collectively the influencer title.
Yeah,
is because like a lot of the time, you're not genuinely influencing someone. No. You're posting something as quick as you can and tagging the brand, but it's just like who you
or
actually...
like you don't even want me using it. Like me giving it away to somebody and then them be the one that repurchases it is more influence on the brand and than I can do.
Or if someone actually genuinely, like a friend of yours that you give something to or comes along with you, they use it, they love it, all of a sudden, or they influence you again. You're like, oh, maybe I'll actually... That's genuine influence,
like, I feel like that's actually where when I'm getting all these products like a gifting suite, it's more valuable, because it's like I have friends who like I've given moisturizers and stuff from like whether it be the Shoppers or the Brill event or any of these things that then they now repurchase that product. Yeah. So that's how you're actually getting more bang for your buck, not just from me going, hey everyone, look at this mass amount of things that I got, and then people resenting it on the internet.
Yeah, for the same reason I've always thought that they should always, like if it was half content creators, invite half of like a cross section of what the audience for all the brands like you're at would be of just like regular people.
Like maybe if you buy something at Shoppers Drug Mart, you get the chance to win your way to their Shoppers Beauty event.
Yeah, for sure.
Like something along those lines. So yeah. I agree, because I think those people influence just as much as the actual creators there do. So,
absolutely.
Anyways, that's somewhere I went though, and it was unique, but you are going to get to win the products that I got, which is great. What about you? What's something you did?
Okay, well, this is going to lead into the last one, but I'll start here. I went to New York, and I ate at, I swear, every single Italian restaurant in that city. I was carb loading, so I just spent 4 days
eating your favorite one?
Okay, new restaurant. It opened in the last few years. I followed this guy on Instagram. God, I can't say his last name. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's Frank Persisano or something like that. He has a bunch of restaurants in New York, and I ate at 2 of them. One called Supper. It's like a family-ish style Italian restaurant in the Lower East Side. And then he had a new pizza shop and pasta shop called Daddy's in the West Village, which I hadn't been to until this time, and it was so good. Although I was an idiot and I didn't read the menu, and I kind of got, when like a place is a little cool, like a little too cool kind of thing, and I just wanted a Negroni, and I was just like, I'll have a Negroni, and then the server just looked at me. He's like, beer and wine only, bro. And I was like, whoa.
He said bro?
Yeah. I was like, my bad.
Was it an autograt? Oops. Like, why did he say bro?
I don't know.
Oh my God, that's mortifying.
I don't know. And then he walked away, and I was like, I guess I better pick a wine.
Oh my God.
It was a little weird, but the pasta, amazing.
Would you share your New York recommendations if people DM'd you and asked?
Yeah, 100%. I have great recommendations, honestly, for a ton of different coffee shops, bars, restaurants in New York, all over the city. So if you have any recommendations.
Well, what a good transition. What is something you did, Jacob? Tell the people.
Sarah, I ran the New York City Marathon this week.
You did.
Thank you. You teased it when you were talking about the marathon videos.
I know.
Life-changing experience.
Oh, that's I'm so glad.
I went in, I had this like list of goals for the actual race. I only accomplished 1 of 4 of them, and they were time-based goals. So it was like the first one was PR, which I did. By 8 minutes. So I'm like, or 8.5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy with that. Because you're moving forward, you're getting faster, you're doing something. It was genuinely the hardest thing I've ever done physically. And I did it faster, so I did it better. I'm like, I can be proud of that for sure. But then missed a couple of my other times. And largely, this race is like, this is a beast of a race. There's a ton of energy because there are literally hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets the entire way. but the bridges in New York are insane.
So like what people will say that, but I don't fully understand. Like, what do you mean when they're insane? Is it because like a bridge you're obviously going uphill and they're so long?
They're just so long, yeah. So it's like I was not prepared and I bonked out at the Queensboro Bridge, which is you come from like Long Island City into Manhattan.
That's the one that kills everybody, that bridge.
Yeah, it's just you hit 25K at like the peak of the bridge. No joke. I think it's 1.5 miles long or something.
Jesus.
And now that's up and down. But for, 3/4 of a mile, you're running up a very steep hill. And there's no people on the bridge to cheer for you or anything like that. It's just quiet. So I bonked. I hit a little bit of a wall after that and then just hung on for dear life. But it was so fun to have. I had a bunch of family in there too. My niece Willow, shout out Willow, 2 years old.
Little Willow in the big city.
Yeah, the most well-traveled 2-year-old.
Crazy.
She was there. A couple of friends there too, which was so fun to have people cheering. And then the city, like there was one point in Brooklyn when a song came on and there was just like, when you have tunnel vision, you're running and it's so hard. And then there's so many people converging on the street. It's getting a little bit skinnier, the place you can ride on. I almost cried in the middle of the race because I was just overwhelmed by like humans coming together.
On the race course, does it say kilometers and miles or only miles? Was that confusing?
Okay, actually that was something that confused me. So I was running with my phone and like essentially checking my mile times each mile because they mark every mile and then they mark every 5K.
Oh, they don't mark kilometer.
No, which is a little.
At least they do some kilometers, but like that was the part I was confused. Is I was tracking you, and like trying to look at I was looking at your splits and the graph and stuff and trying to figure out where you were, and I was like, it says mile 15. I have no context of like how far into the race you are at mile 15.
And I feel like if I was gonna do it again, or like for Chicago, for example, I would almost train
in miles.
Yeah, so you have
you have that understanding.
Better idea of like where you should be, not just like if you have a goal time and you're trying to hit certain milestones at certain mile markers, but like be able to just look at your watch or something and know how fast you're going. Because it was a little confusing for me.
That would be so confusing. Well, you're doing like a totally different type of math in your head. I thought about that the entire time. And like last year when we watched Jade run it was the same thing. Like we're like, she's at mile this. And I'm like,
you're like, well, how far is that?
I'm like, have a conversion chart of miles to kilometers to try and figure out the speed.
It's just tougher when you don't have an exact, what 12K feels like if you're running that.
But what does 12 miles feel like?
12 miles. That's a whole lot farther.
Isn't that like 20 kilometers?
Yeah, it's tougher in your head to do the milestones there.
But worth a year-long wait?
Over a year because I got in.
You got in.
I got in February of 2023 and then got injured in July of 2023 and then couldn't run it and then did a bunch of rehab. Then training for it, it was a long time. It was definitely worth it though. If anyone ever gets the opportunity, there were a few people in my DMs that had like run it before. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy for you because this is such an amazing experience." And it was not oversold at all.
Amazing. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I did was just, if you're watching the video, I got hair extensions. It's not as interesting as running the New York.
These are extensions?
Yes. Did you think my hair grew in the 3 weeks since
I don't know. I was like,
you?
oh yeah, it looks pretty good. What's the how does it work? Explain this to me.
Basically, it's like bonded into my hair. I've never done this before. They're like, can you see that? It's like little bonds.
Can I see that? Okay, she's showing me. There's
like a little thing in my hair. It's really hard to see.
Yeah,
and
not really.
With heat, she like bonds it, and it's like you go individually, row by row. It takes like 2.5 hours.
How much did you add?
Well, this is 20 inches. The hair is 20 inches long.
Whoa!
But I bought a bunch of hair, and she only used half of it because my hair is pretty thin.
Did they cut it then?
Yeah, we trimmed. We cut it to make it like look blended, and we colored it too. Like this wasn't the color of the hair.
Is that real hair?
Yeah,
it's
like real hair.
A human's hair.
It's real hair.
No way, really?
Ethically sourced, everybody. Please do not come at me.
You just like went to someone on the subway and like cut their hair?
No, but that happens in like
people really steal hair.
There are a lot of hair companies that are real hair extensions that quite literally are gang related, and gangs will go in impoverished countries where the women have really long beautiful hair and they'll just cut their ponytails in the middle of the street. It's horrible. That's why like when you are getting hair extensions or any of that, you have to make sure you're getting ethically sourced hair in which the women are voluntarily selling their hair to the company as a way to make money for their family. This is all what I learned while I was there.
That is like one of the coolest facts I've ever heard.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's also very sad.
Because to be honest, I was getting my hair done and I was like, so what happened to the hair that I donated at 12 years old when I thought it was going to a wig for cancer? And that actually does, because you were donating your hair for them to make wigs.
They're still making wigs.
But it's all real hair.
Oh my God.
It's real human hair.
Okay.
Yeah. So
wait, I can't do that, but
you could buy a wig made of real human hair, because you wouldn't be able to get extensions because you don't have enough hair for it to like latch onto.
I couldn't be bonded to, yeah.
No,
I'd
I
have to
couldn't
wear
be
a little
bonded.
cap.
You'd have to wear, or a little like,
or I could do this and then I could ask your person to bond it inside
into the
hat and then it would be like a Forrest Gump situation.
I would love for that.
Amazing. Okay.
Welcome back to another voicemail. If you want to ask us a question, I usually do a call out on Instagram before we do a recording. You can also email us at talkingfastshow@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at talkingfastshow. It can be an easy question. It can be advice. It can literally be anything.
Could be a crazy question. I'm looking for some unhinged stuff.
We love unhinged. Like we love the unhinged questions.
I did start watching randomly the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I was like,
I
need
love
some
that
unhinged stuff like that.
I love
the
that.
The first 5 minutes of that show is insane.
It's absurd. And also it's like any of those, like, now you understand why I love like Hey You and like reality TV and like Housewives and stuff, because they just do the most like insane stuff that like adults should not be doing.
So give us some crazy questions for the next voicemail.
Hypotheticals. That's what we'd love, especially if it's probably gonna be the last voicemail of the year. We want the craziest shit of 2024 going into 2025. But with that, we do have some sane, normal questions, and we're just going to chat through. This is our first time seeing the questions too, so whatever we answer is our raw.
We got some good ones. I'm just looking them over. We got some good ones.
Okay,
here
do you want to start? Pick a question.
Okay. I liked this one. First of all, if you had to change your careers, what career would you choose?
Do you have one that comes to mind?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I've always thought this. I would love to be a wedding planner.
I think you would be fantastic at that job. Truly.
You know what?
You're good at dealing with big personalities, deadlines. You're organized.
I'm trying to be a problem solver.
You know how to read contracts.
Yep. I could have some vendor connections.
Yeah, 100%.
We would be killing the photo video game as well, with like not just your basic photo video for weddings. We're gonna do some creative stuff. We're gonna also do some creative planning. Like, why have a wedding that just looks cookie cutter?
I feel like you're
let's
also
do something closer
enough of a foodie, and like you like really good food and drinks. So I feel like you would know like
cool
vibey spots maybe in the East End that people could have little intimate weddings.
Let me help build out your wine list for your wedding.
So that's like like very similar to what I think I would be, an event planner or like a party planner.
Should we quit everything and become
well, we don't have to quit, but we could do it as a side quest.
I actually think that'd be so fun.
You and I basically do it as a side quest half the time anyways.
It's true.
And then we always do it in like 3 weeks.
Which is crazy because I feel like a lot of people would appreciate that too. I mean, with wedding stuff, you would have to be booking, and larger events like venues and whatnot, you have to be booking that out so far in advance.
Do you want to know what actually? This maybe is a sign. There is a restaurant. So I look at real estate a lot, and today I was looking at real estate, but I accidentally was on the realtor.ca commercial side.
Yeah, I love that.
There's a building in Liberty Village, the place we went to for brunch after your marathon, the Toronto Marathon, that craft place.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that building's for sale for only $850,000. That entire restaurant.
Wait, and the craft is for sale?
And it's only $850,000.
That's a nice spot.
2 separate rooms, exposed brick everywhere.
Big commercial kitchen,
massive bar in the middle. I go, you rip that out, you create the only wedding venue in Liberty Village in that area.
Ooh, that's good.
And then you could have like
it's a good location too.
Location's impeccable. It's only going to go up in value once the subway is built there.
Well, I mean, like that's a big.
I did the quick math. If you charged a minimum $10,000 venue fee just for the flat venue fee,
$10,000 in downtown Toronto, like you would be also be the cheapest venue by like.
Well, if you only did $10,000 and you booked it out for at least like 10 weeks of the year, you'd make your money back in 3 years.
Okay.
That might be the fake
We gotta
math,
go.
but
Yeah, we're gonna go check this out.
I verbatim today was like, oh my God, if I was like in the event planning business, or if like
that'd be a good
think
spot.
about it. Think of how many times you and I want a venue that like,
yeah.
Also, there's not enough venues here that like have low enough minimum spends on the nights that they're free. You know what I mean? Like if we could just like make it the official place that all the jam sports after parties are, because it's like a low minimum spend or something like that. It's also across the street from Universal Music, so like there could be events there. We could make a little stage.
It's also around the corner from BMO Field. Like why not have it be like an official like pregame situation?
But and think about it, like I go to a lot of events in the city and they're all at the same venues.
Yeah.
And like
venues have been evaporating, especially like event spaces.
100%. So I think this might be an incredible business opportunity as a venue. I was shocked at how cheap they were selling it for.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Now, there's probably rent on top of that monthly, right?
No, you're buying the building.
Yeah.
You think it's buying the business?
I think it's, well, I don't know. Sometimes it's just buying the business and then you have to pay your monthly rent on top of that.
There's no way that business is worth $900,000. It's
a
a restaurant.
Know, commercial kitchen stuff can be expensive, but maybe not.
Okay, well, anyways,
We'll
I thought they
out.
were buying the building because it's a building on its own. Like it's a
We'll
standalone.
put together the business plan.
But I think if you want to be like a wedding planner, I would want to be an event planner. So I think that's a perfect mix. It's the same skill set.
Okay, well, I'll take the weekends and you take the weekdays.
Slay, if that's what we're doing. No, because also in planning events, I was like, how fun would it be to plan races? Like think of how many times like running.
Oh yeah.
Think of how often like remember when the color run became really popular? They made so much money
and you
so
have, like,
quickly.
Tough Mudder and stuff like that.
If you make a race that becomes like kind of iconic and travels around, or like whoever created like High Rocks or whatever that is, like when you create something like that, there's so many times that you go to these events, you're like, I could do this.
People love doing stuff too.
And they want to like have something to look forward to.
Okay. We got a lot to think about.
We have a lot to think about that we're going to go off. Okay. This one is your ultimate destination or dream trip.
Ooh, okay. Right now it's Portugal.
Random.
Oh, it's two. It's Portugal. I would love to go to Portugal and just like hang out in Portugal, drink wine, go to museums.
Kind of feels like your vibe.
Yeah, sit around. The other one is Hawaii.
Okay.
I would like to go and like just run around Hawaii.
To specifically run around Hawaii.
Yeah, that's like the home. Did we talk about this previously? Maybe it's like the home of the Ironman. Not that I'm doing an Ironman, but I would just like. That's
like where the big Ironman is, like the one you have to qualify for.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty serious.
A woman I work with has done that 3 times. And she only started doing Ironmans in like her 40s.
Oh my God. Yeah, honestly, people peak then. Probably because they're having like midlife crises
and also I think like it's like how when people get into running like really late, but like they can qualify for Boston because the time qualifier is way lower.
I know. You know what? I mean, I'm
like
not,
we are in the worst age bracket right now for qualifying for Boston.
Guess what? I move 5 minutes up in May.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You're like, thank God.
Honestly, it felt good when I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, you know, because they keep pushing the times faster and faster. And I'm like, how am I going to get there?
Is it every 5 years? Every 5 years?
It's like every 4 to 6 years, maybe. I don't know. The gaps get bigger.
My dream destination, I don't know. I really flip flop. I think.
You've gone to a bunch recently.
That's the thing. I've been to a bunch of them. Japan is definitely up there.
Oh, really?
But I think my like biggest dream destination, because it's been since I was like a kid, is like Australia, New Zealand.
Right.
Because I want to go for like a couple months and just like really, I have friends over there.
I was gonna say you had a good friend that like just fully moved there recently, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why we met up with her in Bali. So like I feel like that's a big one. I've also never been to Italy, which is kind of shocking.
Oh, go.
But one of my childhood best friends is getting married in Italy in May of 2026. So which is really exciting.
Wait, I'm one of Haley's friends. It's June. It's June.
Well,
we'll cross over.
Maybe we'll cross over because she's getting married I don't know if I think it's the end of May. I should know this. I think I'm in the wedding party. And so I'm going to go to Italy then. So I think I just don't have it on my radar because I'm like, I'll just like extend the trip and go.
Yeah. Wait, what part of Italy? You know?
So she's getting married in a vineyard in Tuscany.
Oh my God, this wedding I'm going to is the same thing.
Wait, that's crazy.
Whoa.
What if it's the same venue?
Maybe. Do you like stay at the place? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God.
For like
What
2
if it
days.
is the same? That'd be crazy.
Well,
oh my
like,
God.
well-
Leave me a note or something.
And hide it and be like, I hid it underneath this lemon tree.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
that'd be so funny. If
Oh
it
my
is
God,
the-
someone did that for me once. I drove across Canada and someone, like a friend of ours who was driving in the car did the same thing
Left
the week
notes?
before, and they left like, one big note like in this random small
That's
Ontario
hilarious. Okay, well, if it's the same venue, we'll do it. But yeah, I think Italy's up there, but I know I'm gonna get to Italy eventually, so it's just it doesn't feel as big of a trip. But now that I've done like really horrible like 14-hour flights in the middle seat back row, like flying to Australia doesn't seem like that big of a deal anymore.
For next trip, maybe not like one of the ones you're just talking about, but do you have a preference on like where you want to go? Not where you want to go, how you want the trip to look the next trip you go on? Like, is it something backpacking, or like you going and like sitting and lounging for like one place?
Well, the next trip I'm literally going on is my family's going on a cruise over Christmas, which is very like sitting, like, relaxing. But I mean, we were going to 5 ports. Like we could often do day trips like every day.
What's good because that's like an optional thing, right?
Exactly.
Like if you're feeling it, get off and do it, or just do a short trip or short day trip. Yeah.
It's nice because it's like a mix of that because I get too antsy. The reason the trip I most recently did was perfect was because the trip started off as like a trip, like very like culture heavy, very like embedding ourselves in like Thai culture and like busy. And then it switched to vacation vibes in Bali. So it was the perfect mix of the two.
I'm trying to think like the last few I've been on, like even New York, I was there for a few days in advance, but like we were touring around, seeing a bunch of people as well.
Yeah.
Got a few clients in New York now too. There was like, meetings and stuff. It was busy. I haven't had like a relaxing trip in a while. So I'm kind of
They're good to mix in every once in a while. So that's where I think like the cruise will be relaxing. So then, and then I just booked another trip. My friend Kate and I, in February, we're going to go to Ireland.
Whoa.
Just for like 6 days. Why not?
What's found going
like
on over there?
Like literally cheap flights, and we want to get away in February. And like I will have just gone on a vacation, so I don't need to go like a southern destination. And we've never gone on a trip just the two of us, so we're going to do that and it'll be fun.
Tour around little pubs.
Yeah.
Do a lock-in. Have you heard of a lock-in? We talked about that on the show. A lock-in is like where you're in a pub and they play like live music and stuff like that. But then you know how the bar has to close at a certain hour. They like close all the doors and windows and like put the shutters in, and then you're just like illegally in there.
But you're like allowed to stay.
It's lock-in. The business owners do it. Yeah, new people can't come in, but you can stay there for as long as you want, kind of thing. You just party into the night.
Oh, drinking. I love that.
Yeah, and people are playing live music and all that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very much a vibe. My whole thing was like, people are like, why are you going in February? I'm like, well, one, it was a lot cheaper, and two, it's gloomy and like dull in Ireland all the time anyways. What's the difference of it being a little snowy too? It's no different. I don't care.
Okay.
It might be pretty.
That's nice.
So anyways,
you got me wanting to book a trip now.
You
I might go home and just like...
My biggest tip in life is you always need your next trip booked. I almost always come home from a trip, but at least always have another trip that I'm looking forward to. Example, I came home from Bali. I already have this like family cruise that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then when I come home from this family cruise, don't have to worry, going to Ireland in 2 months. And then after Ireland, I'm really like focusing on kind of staying, but it'll be like, oh, I'm going to the cottage. And then it'll be like, after they'll be like, oh, I'm going to Europe in the summer to go see Oasis at Wembley. Like, you know, you always have your next trip. That's all you have to do.
Okay, I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to
book a trip.
Yeah.
Portugal. Do it.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm going to check out Google Flights. I'm just going to find the cheapest flight, and I'm just going to say, let's book that.
Pick the next question.
Okay. Bring back Tara.
That was a comment we got a couple times. The reason the Tara episode was so good and special is because we don't do that often. You know what I mean? Like I think
100%.
I think that's like, I think it would ruin the magic if we did it every single week together.
Yeah,
so like bringing her back, mixing it in once in a while. When Jacob's in Portugal, maybe she'll come back.
Sarah, how do you not get caught on the hamster wheel of life? That's a deep question.
I think it is okay to be on the hamster wheel if you're aware that you're on the hamster wheel, but you can get off if you need to.
Okay. Are you on the hamster wheel right now?
Yeah, but example, tonight I was supposed to go to a few events, and I'm sorry to any of those people that are at those events that are expecting me. I'm calling it. I don't feel well enough to go because I feel the hamster wheel. I look at my calendar over the next few weeks and I'm like overwhelmed and stressed. And so I'm getting off it tonight. I'm just going to go home. I'm going to order some A&W. I'm going to order a chubby chicken burger and sweet potato fries, and then go home and sit on the couch and just bead and make friendship bracelets. And like that's how I can like recenter myself and then be ready to get back on because it's about to get really crazy.
That's a good point because I have been so busy the last like 3 weeks, especially with training and then traveling, but then also just like there are a few tiny things we're finishing up with the cottage and just like life stuff happening, you know, that like I got back from the trip and just I felt like I've just been hit by a bus, especially because the election just happened in the States as well. That didn't go the way I wanted it to. And I've just been exhausted. But that's a good point because I have also felt like, oh, we better keep going. As soon as you get back, like, better keep going.
Yeah.
Gotta, you know, I kind of put off seeing different friends and going out a lot, especially around training. I better get back to that. But now, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just like knowing when to, okay, let me have a few days here to.
I also feel like it's very easy this time of year to get like overwhelmed with all of it. But I'm thinking like taking time to like hibernate is actually like a legit thing.
For sure.
Like as soon as it gets a little darker, this, that. But I think a hamster wheel is inevitable. Like you're going to end up like in periods of life where you're spinning and it's so busy and you feel like, oh, I can't see the light. It's just as long as you make yourself time to be able to hop off, you can get back on if you need to. But like this next few weeks is a great example for me of that. It's like, although there's so many exciting things happening, there is just like a lot of work to get done, a lot of stress. I also felt like I came home from a trip where I felt like I fell off the face of the earth for 3 weeks, come back. Yeah. Oh, but I got in an accident. So then I was out of commission for really 2 full weeks before I really started getting back. Well, maybe 1 full week before I started working again. And then it just feels like everything's piled up. But all I do is just like chip away a little bit at a time and then I feel better.
Yeah, that's a big one. I get overwhelmed with that too. And I mean, like, I know that you were feeling that, but also because we're working together and we had a bunch of commitments, it's like, oh shit, we got to like rearrange some stuff. We got to make sure that everyone's aware of what's going on. But like, what else are you going to do? Right?
I know.
I feel like what a lot of people, your life and my life, because of what we do, are like maybe not as typical as like the average person in terms of like their routine too. I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're grinding out like a 9-to-5 corporate job, feel like it's a little bit easier sometimes to be stuck on that wheel.
And I've been there. It's like it's really easy to like then blink and it's been like, oh my God, it's been 3 weeks. I've just been on this like same circular rotation. I just think you really need to like actively make pockets for yourself to be able to hop off the wheel and just chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
Tonight's one of those nights for me.
I like that.
Another question we got a lot. I know like we've talked about like recommendations and stuff before, but a big question because obviously a lot of people are traveling here for concerts, whether it's the Eras Tour. I saw a few people are coming in February for Kelsey Ballerini, which is really exciting. Yeah. But basically a lot of people are asking for recommendations. I have been getting a lot of DMs for my Toronto Rex list. As a reminder, you can DM me and I'll send it to you or join the broadcast channel that I have and I post like recommendations all the time. But I don't know about you, Jacob, but I have a list on my phone of like Toronto restaurants and stuff that I recommend. But if someone is coming to Toronto for a concert or they're traveling here maybe for the first time, what are some restaurants and bars you are recommending for them to check out?
The first tip, Toronto is a big reservation city.
You need a and then during this time,
especially this time, and I'm talking like a week in advance, at least minimum.
Usually 2 weeks.
Yeah. So if you're coming to the city for anything, don't expect that you're gonna land. You're gonna like get to the hotel or wherever you're staying, and you're gonna think of a place to go for dinner, or just walk to somewhere and get in. It's not gonna happen
unless it's like the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And that's essentially the only
Which is sometimes maybe a tip. It's like if you can maybe get in a place as a walk-in if it was like you're planning on going as soon as they open. Yeah. But otherwise, especially for some of the more popular places, you like have to have a reservation.
Anything that I have on this list that's recommendation, you need to make a reservation for essentially.
Yeah, which is a good plus because as long as you know that and you're like kind of on top of your bookings,
but
you'll
also,
be fine.
The other fabulous part about this city, and as somebody, my biggest recommendation, if you're coming here for a concert specifically, say you were coming to Toronto for like the Eras Tour or a Kelsey Ballerini or insert show, whatever. One of my favorite things my girlfriends and I did when we went to Nashville is we didn't get tied to dinner reservations. Instead, we would take the food recommendations and order the food in and eat it while we were getting ready.
Ooh, I like that.
Because what I find happens is you get really stressed about like getting ready really early and then, I need to go to this dinner reservation. Now I need to make it to the concert.
Especially if you're traveling. Like Toronto's a traffic heavy city. Exactly. If you're not familiar with the TTC or something like that, it can be tough to get around or expensive if you're taking Ubers places.
So the best part about Toronto is that There is no restaurant that is not on a food delivery service app.
Yeah.
Like between Skip, Uber Eats, DoorDash, like literally every single one of them you can order, and it's still gonna be good and fresh and
I was
wonderful.
gonna say
and
the people on those e-bikes are zipping
they're
around.
zipping around.
They're
So
getting you your fresh food.
any of the places that we're recommending, you can also order in. Obviously, you sometimes want the experience of going, having the cocktail, whatever, but like then you got to be making a reservation.
Yeah.
I think if you're coming to the city and you haven't been here before, or if you're just like haven't been here a while, I think the Well for a concert is perfect 'cause it's so close to, well, at least Rogers Center. It's right there.
Yeah.
So any of the restaurants there, like Lulu, which is like really fun, like cocktails, like Polynesian like vibes, which is so fun. Same with like Bridget Bars, really good cocktails and stuff. And same with La Plume.
Yeah.
So all those have one really good happy hours, two really just good cocktails and food options and whatever.
And they're big, right?
And they're big, so they can fit a lot of people. They have heaters on their patios.
That's also one thing I'll say. It's like, okay, if you find a place that you really, really like, great. But if you're a group of like 4+ people, sometimes it's tough to get into some of the restaurants that are a little bit smaller.
Very tough. If you're ordering food, I mean, pie, you're not going to get into pie. So just ordering pie, which is Thai food.
Unless you are staying uptown somehow.
Unless,
and you can
go to Pie and Young and Egg.
Is just as good and has a
maybe
ton
even better.
of space.
Maybe even better. Or just take the subway uptown. It's also really good.
100%.
I also love north of Brooklyn for ordering in pizza. If you're looking to order in like Chinese, House of Gourmet is amazing.
I saw you, I think you had it on your list recently because, thinking about brunch day after, something like that, you put on One Kitchen, which
Their
is
brunch
actually,
is unreal.
Yeah, at hotel brunches.
It's a sleigh.
Yeah, honestly,
it's
huge
right
class.
on Bathurst. It's so good, and it's like not expensive, and it's really good. My other favorite brunch would be Peter Pan. Again, you need a reservation though for Peter Pan because it's really small, but
the
it's beautiful.
one place I would give a shout out, speaking of Bathurst, I would give a shout out to also Kettleman's. So if you want to grab and go bagel, like you can all go in, get your bagel situation, a couple of nice parks around. You can same kind of thing where you're not going to sit down, but you can grab a couple of snacks. That's also a good place because you can get like 6 bagels or something for the next morning too, if you wanted to grab a couple of groceries to have in your in the place that you're staying.
What about you?
Toronto's also got a decent brewery scene.
A really good
also
brewery
speaking
scene.
about like space, sometimes a little bit easier to find
sharing
space
tables,
in them.
like those big like
And
table
then
vibes.
it can give you like a good excuse because there aren't a lot of breweries downtown in the downtown core.
There's like what, Mascot, Bellwoods, and Bellwoods not even town really.
Yeah.
Mascot, Bellwoods, and Steam Whistle.
Which is,
Oh, they have a left field in Liberty Village now.
Oh, that's true.
Massive.
Actually, that's a really good
That's
one.
a really good option.
They've got decent food there
and
too.
left field is really cool because it's all ordering the food on your phone. So you don't
Yeah,
have to talk
it's
to
very
anybody.
convenient.
And it's really fast. So like you're not waiting to flag a server down. That's also great.
They're all the other recommendations that I would say though is like if you were coming to Toronto for the first time and you're going to a concert or something downtown, but you do want to experience a couple of the other neighborhoods, breweries is a great way to do that because easy to get into, but also they're kind of in nice pockets all around the city. So like Bandit Brewery over by like Roncy on the west end would be good. Godspeed over here on the east end, and then their breweries, kind of all over
Blood
the place.
Brothers is really good too.
Yeah, that's a great one too. Up on Geary, Blood Brothers.
Anything on Geary is good because
Jen Ag's got a new restaurant on Geary called General Public, which is
I've heard about it. Is
great. It looks so beautiful inside. It's like an 80s diner almost, but like upscale. And the food is amazing.
What is the wine bar that's on Geary? Is it Paradise?
Do you know
what I'm talking
Paradise
about?
Grapevine
Paradise Grapevine,
is their
really
like
good.
they have that, and then
It's
there are
so
a couple
good.
other ones parallel as well.
And then also for like drinks / cocktails, I know we mentioned a couple. Some places that are specifically by concert venues. A place that is slept on is Duke's. It's random. It's called Duke's Refreshers.
Oh yeah, on Front
and it
Street?
used to be Jack Astor's, but it's not anymore. It's Duke's Refreshers, and it's fun because you can go with a big group. You usually get in really easily, and it's just like a great bar that has a bunch of games. You can play like skee ball, you can play like all these different things. So it's just like a good vibe, and it's central. So it's like a 5-minute walk to Union Station, like maybe. It's right by St. Lawrence Market. So I feel like that's a really good like pre-concert or pre-event place to go to.
That's a good one.
Otherwise, like everything I would recommend for bars and stuff is nowhere close to concert venue.
Yeah, I'm
talking like Bar Mordecai, Resposado, like Bar Raval.
The only like if you're into Italian food, like Tironi, there are a ton of Tironis. Tironi Adelaide is sometimes a little bit easier to get into.
Downtown Winery on Ossington Street is really cool. It's like literally a winery on Ossington Street. Who the fuck am I? Ossington Avenue. Jesus Christ.
Union, also maybe one of my favorite restaurants on Ossington.
Okay, and then also speaking of Union, this sounds like crazy, but Union Station actually has like kind of slay food now. They have like a whole food.
Yeah, true.
And I was gonna say food halls as well. Waterworks Food Hall, unbelievable.
Yeah.
They have an Otto's donair there, which Berlin is so good, which came from Kensington, and then they also have like tacos. They've got like the people that. There's like this really cool bar. There's just so much stuff. And like, so there's Wellington Market Food Hall. There's now Waterworks Food Hall. Like Toronto's kind of becoming like a food hall city, which is also
like
perfect.
that. Okay, Sarah, this is a random one. Favorite fruit and veggie? I want to do this question.
Do you want to know a really fun fact is that I like didn't eat fruits and vegetables growing up. I was the pickiest eater on the planet.
That is wild. You just didn't like them?
You know when like you're a kid and you're like, you think you don't like something, so you just determine you don't like it? That was
Did you, okay, what have you then come into liking?
like basically name a food and I've come into liking
Brussels
it.
sprouts.
Yes, I love
Yeah,
Brussels sprouts. Actually,
I hated Brussels sprouts as a kid. I like them.
this is the thing. Favorite fruit or it depends on the context of the vegetable. I will always order a Brussels sprout on a menu though. Like it's like I love you know, like on a restaurant. But I've recently become a big broccoli girl. I used to hate broccoli.
Ooh.
But I don't know if it's my favorite vegetable. I don't know.
You know what I like? I like a garlic green bean. Like
Okay.
a buttery garlic green bean.
I go in and out of green beans, like, but I think Brussels sprouts must be my favorite vegetable because, like, granted, it's mostly just a vessel for like
a sauce or
oils
something.
and sauce and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite.
I was gonna say
probably.
that there's a great cauliflower with like pomegranates and a little
yeah,
sauce at
cauliflower
the restaurant Fat Pasha. But then also doing any kind of cauliflower at home, super easy. But then also it's kind of just a vessel, but great
Yeah.
texture. I like cauliflower a lot. And then fruit, I'm a big banana guy. I'm a morning banana.
I don't like bananas.
Really?
Nolan is a morning banana person too.
With a little
and
peanut
he
butter?
said, if you're gonna train for a marathon, you better start liking banana. I don't
Yeah.
not like them. I just like won't eat it by itself. I could eat like a banana with peanut butter on toast.
Okay, that honestly, I'll go with that a lot. Yeah.
Oh my god, fruit.
Berries?
So I'm not a huge. I love the taste of a lot of fruit, but I'm not a big texture person. So like, I don't like the texture of a lot of berries. If fruits, I'm a mango. I like mango a lot.
Ooh, yeah, dried mango, amazing.
Well, not even just dried. I just like love mango.
I
Like,
dislike mango, like fresh
that
mango.
Haley was the same way. We're in Thailand and I'm eating like mango sticky rice every single meal I possibly can, and she's like, nope, not my vibe. I love mango.
I think that's a texture thing for me because I'm just like,
because it's a little slimy.
Yeah, it's the slime. It's like you expect it to be a little bit harder, and then all of a sudden it's like it's a little marshmallowy. Maybe I'm just
fair.
having bad mango. But
I also like cantaloupe.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mango,
I like what's the
Honeydew.
honeydew. I like honeydew.
I love honeydew as well.
Oh, when
Any
you
of the-
when
any
you
of
go
the
to
melon
brunch and you get like a
family.
little cup of fruit.
The best.
Oh, I go for the honeydew. I'm like, who can I trade at this lunch table for some extra honeydew?
That's such a fun question. I feel like you can tell a lot about a person based on their favorite fruit and vegetable.
Yeah, for sure.
I also just love an apple.
Oh, really?
But I don't like an apple pie. Isn't that funny?
Whoa.
I don't really love apple pie.
What about apple like crisp? It's kind of the same thing.
No, I don't.
Applesauce?
Yes, but do you want to like applesauce with specifically? It's just like when I eat pork, like you know, like when you have it
Oh,
like
like a
applesauce
little,
with
like a almost like a chutney kind of thing.
Yeah. But
oh, that's good. Yeah.
When you were asking what my favorite vegetable was, though, like I'm literally sitting there thinking, is a potato a vegetable?
Well, I mean, I'd put potato in their own category because if you're gonna do potatoes, I would go
then what's your
mashed potatoes for sure.
I think
by
mashed
far.
has to be first.
Yeah.
Always. A lot of people don't like that take though, because most people I think would vote
French fries? Yeah.
I don't
I wouldn't even
agree.
say that's the same though. I would almost say French fries is its own category.
No, it's not its own category. Potato. Mashed.
Scalloped potatoes.
So good. If they're made properly,
Yeah.
unbelievable. But,
Scalloped potatoes the next day too.
delicious. But like I think most people in the potato ranking like would put French fries first. And I don't even think they'd be in my top 3.
Wow.
I think we're putting mashed at the top. I think it's
You do baked potato ever? You do
100%.
twice baked? Twice
I
baked.
love a twice baked potato. Like I think it would be mashed. Okay, so would this count as, when you go to a fair and they have the potato crispy chips? Oh my God, chips.
The potato.
Okay, wait, I'm going mashed potato chips is number 2.
I love a potato chip.
And specifically a wavy Lay's. Are you kidding me with a dip?
I go sour cream and onion ruffles. That's
also unreal.
I could eat sour cream and onion ruffles for the rest of my life for only that. And I wouldn't live very long, but I would be happy.
You'd be happy. And that's all that matters. As long as the time that you have on earth here is you're enjoying really good potatoes and your garlicky green beans and you're happy. That's all that matters.
I didn't think that question would have that many legs.
Do you want to know what? This is what we're talking about, though, people. It's like the simple questions.
It's true. I've got potato thoughts.
Okay, so if you just listen to us talk about our favorite fruits and vegetables and then me starting to rank potatoes, which, by the way, if you want a full potato ranking, let us know.
Episode.
We could do a whole episode.
Can we?
McCain?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's go to a McCain farm in PEI. And although that's probably Cavendish, but they're probably all there. And we'll,
but I would be down if we just started doing food episodes where we just literally did full blown mukbangs. Why don't we just go to an A&W and then we eat
oh my God, like a mukbang.
Yeah, recommendations based off of people, and then you just do a full. Done. You're just sitting there, then we just invite people in to sit and eat with us.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so wholesome.
Like an ice cold root beer the whole time.
I don't like root beer, but you can have that all of an ice cold Diet Coke or an iced tea.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Or a little Pret a Manger coffee, Ooh. And then we can trade each other's orders. I don't know. I just think that's the type of stuff we should be doing.
100%.
But if you made it this far, you deserve a reward. I think that's just naturally 100%. What we should do. So if you are an OG podcast listener, if you've been listening since we did our live show, when we did our live show a year ago, we gave our VIPs these tote bags. And the tote bags suddenly became such a talked about thing. We probably get a message Izzy, every couple weeks of someone asking us
where the totes,
restock the totes. And look, we've tried. But there's a few issues with the way that you actually run that. And I mean, if you guys didn't know already, we're both very busy and we have 9 million jobs. And apparently we're also starting an event company. So there's a lot going on.
We had a couple print issues as well.
We had some printing issues and things that weren't coming up to the quality of what we wanted. Yeah. So we reordered the original totes and we are going to give away.
We're sitting on a couple totes.
We're sitting on quite a few totes. So we're going to start giving away totes because they're super exclusive. Everyone loves them. And if you made it this far in the episode, send a DM to the Talking Fast page saying the first place you would go shopping with your tote bag.
Yeah.
And you are going to get a Talking Fast tote.
Limited to one person, the first person.
Maybe. Look, if we have a bunch of people that listened all the way to the end.
Limited to at least one.
But you want to be speedy. You want to be first. And so we're going to see if people actually listen all the way. And if no one sends us a message, then we will learn that retire. We need to really reevaluate how long these podcast episodes are.
The first place that you're going to shop with your new Talking Fast tote, but then also your favorite type of potato.
If you want to give us your potato ranking at the same time or tell us what potatoes you put in the tote, then that's fine.
Ooh, yeah. Honestly, I no word of a lie. I grocery shop. I might go after this to grocery shop, and I use my Talking Fast tote.
And there's nothing that makes me feel happier than when my friends all use that tote, and they always say it's because the straps are really good on that one. They're
the straps are great. Honestly, it's such a strong tote.
It's such a strong,
no
good
word of a lie.
Tote.
I've put a bag of potatoes in my Talking Fast tote.
As you should. It's a great quality tote, and so there's nothing that makes me happier than when I see my friends not just because they're coming to see me, but they just genuinely use the tote all the time.
Yeah.
So that could be you. And so yeah, you have a chance to win a tote. We're also going to do 12 days giveaways. Make sure you are following the Talking Fast page on Instagram. Also, we are going to do secret special hidden messages in a couple of the next coming episodes. So listeners will get extra bonus chances to win some of those 12 days giveaways because you're the OGs if you're listening to yap for this long. Oh my God, I'm talking for so long. I'm slurring my words. This is ridiculous. This has been Jacob. I've been Sarah. Maybe you're going to win a new tote bag. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talking Fast. You can follow us at Talking Fast Show on Instagram. Comment, subscribe. Please give us 5 stars. I don't think we've gotten one of those in a really long time. So we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.